You know that feeling you meet someone new, or maybe even an old friend, and there's that tiny pause, that flicker of, okay, what do I say next? Or maybe you're working on a new skill, like say learning a language, and you just wish you had a shortcut, you know? To sound confident, sound natural. We've all been there,
Mhm.
right? Standing on the edge of an interaction, just wondering well, how to bridge that initial gap. Well, today we're going to do a deep dive into some really practical, really insightful stuff. It's excerpts from a guide called Easy English Daily Conversation Skills. Now, don't let the English part throw you off. While it's obviously great for language learners, what we found buried in here are, well, universal principles. Principles for genuinely connecting with people, building that rapport, keeping a conversation just flowing naturally. Doesn't matter what language, really. This goes way beyond just vocabulary. It's digging into the social architecture of how we interact.
Right. So our mission today basically is to peel back the layers on these conversational blueprints. We're not just going to list what to say. More importantly, we want to explore the why. Why are these simple seeming phrases actually so powerful? What's the psychology driving their effectiveness? In building that connection, we'll move beyond the absolute basics, uncovering the, let's say, the subtle social engineering behind good daily talk,
Yeah.
and how understanding that can empower you really to walk into pretty much any social situation feeling more at ease, more confident. The real question we're getting at is, how do these fundamental building blocks, these communication basics, translate across different situations, different cultures even?
Oh.
How do they help us navigate that intricate dance of human connection with more skill, more authenticity?
Okay, so let's start right at square one. The absolute essentials. Greetings, our source material kicks off right there. And it does something quite insightful, actually. It categorizes them by formality. It gives us hi, how are you, as, the most common, a real universal opener. Then there's how's it going? That's described as a bit more informal. For friends, maybe, people you know a little. And finally, what's up? Very informal, strictly for people you know really well, your close circle.
Yeah.
Now, this might sound incredibly basic, like, okay, obviously, but the guide is actually pretty smart to highlight these subtle differences. It's not just knowing the words themselves, it's about intuitively getting the social context.
Exactly.
Think about it, right? Imagine walking up to your new boss, first day, maybe a really corporate place, and hitting him with a, what's up?
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't land well.
Right. It could immediately signal, unprofessionalism, maybe even disrespect, or the opposite, using a really stiff, formal greeting with your oldest friend might feel, well, weird, distant, maybe.
Cool. Yeah.
So the guide is implicitly teaching us to, read the room, to gauge the relationship, the expectations, even before we open our mouths. These first choices, they're actually kind of critical. They set the stage instantly.
And what's really fascinating about that simple breakdown is how the choice of greeting immediately sets up the social contract for the interaction. How are you? It really is like a social lubricant, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's low stakes, acknowledge the other person, signals you're open to engaging, but then moving to, how's it going? Or what's up? That's much more nuanced than just being friendlier. It signals a growing level of shared history, mutual understanding, maybe even a bit of social intimacy. It's almost like social shorthand.
Social shorthand, I like that.
Yeah, when you hear what's up,
Hmm.
there's this implicit assumption, right, that there's a comfortable relationship already there. Formalities aren't needed. If you look at it sociologically, these first words are just loaded with social info. They signal our place in the hierarchy, maybe, our comfort level, our grasp of the unspoken rules for that interaction.
Right.
And getting it wrong can lead to awkwardness, or worse, like you said, perceived disrespect. It just shows how these tiny phrases carry real social weight.
And the guide doesn't just leave you hanging with the greeting. It immediately gives you the perfect replies, the back and forth. Someone asks, "How are you?" You get options like, "I'm good, thanks." And you? Or "I'm great, how about you?" Or even just, "I'm fine, thanks."
Mm-hmm.
The absolutely crucial detail there, which the guide subtly points out, is that reciprocal bit, the "and you," or "how about you?"
Yes.
It's so simple, but it instantly turns a statement into an invitation, right, for more dialogue. It's like starting that conversational tennis match. You serve, and then you immediately hit the ball back.
You keep the rally going.
Exactly. It makes it a two-way street right from the start. So thinking about your own life, when you interact with people, what greeting do you find yourself using or hearing most? Do you jump to informal quickly with some people, or do you tend to stick to the more universal "how are you" approach?
Well, that's a good question. And that reciprocal part, and you,
Yeah.
it's not just politeness, is it?
Uh,
It's really the fundamental first invitation for a real back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
It establishes the rhythm, that conversational rally, as
Yeah.
you put it.
Yeah.
Without it, the whole thing risks just becoming a monologue, right? Or just these isolated transactional statements.
Like question, answer, silence.
Exactly. Imagine if every time someone asked, "How are you?"
Mm-hmm.
you just said, "I'm good," and stopped.
Yeah, it dies right there.
The interaction hits a wall. By asking back, you're signaling, okay, I'm ready to engage. You're acknowledging their role, and you're, passing the conversational ball. It reinforces that idea that conversation is shared. It's collaborative. We're building something together, not just performing or interrogating each other.
That's a great way to put it. Collaborative.
It's subtle, but it's a powerful way to build that connection and keep the dialogue moving.
Okay, so greetings exchanged, the conversational ball is rolling. What's next? And here's where it gets really, I think, insightful. The source suggests moving to safe topics. And it specifically, almost universally, points to the weather.
The classic.
The classic. Examples like, it's a beautiful day, isn't it? Raining a lot today, or wow, so hot outside. And the replies are just as simple. Yes, it is. I know, right? I love sunny days. The weather. It really is the ultimate neutral ground. You're right.
It is.
It's shared. Everyone experiences it. It's observable. And crucially, it's almost never controversial.
Rarely, yeah.
It's kind of brilliant in its simplicity. It feels like the guide is giving us permission almost to just ease into it. Like it's saying, look, don't try to solve world peace in the first 30 seconds.
Right.
Just acknowledge the reality around you. You don't need deep knowledge or some profound opinion, just a common observation to get the conversational gears turning.
Yeah, it minimizes social risk, provides an immediate, accessible point of connection.
Totally.
And this brings up, an important question about the function of small talk. It's often dismissed, isn't it, as trivial, superficial.
Definitely. People roll their eyes at weather talk sometimes.
They do. But small talk about the weather, its real purpose, sociologically speaking, isn't about exchanging meteorological data. It's much more significant. It's like social grooming. You know how primates groom each other?
Okay. To reinforce bonds?
Exactly. Reinforces cohesion, signals non-aggression. Weather talk is kind of like that. It's a low-stakes way to bridge that initial silence, to find common ground without needing any personal disclosure. And it lets people comfortably gauge each other.
Gauge each other. How so?
Well, you're checking their openness, their receptiveness to more conversation. It's like a little social reconnaissance.
Testing the waters.
Precisely. You're subtly gathering intel, their energy level, maybe their mood. Are they open to talking more? All before you commit to a deeper topic.
That makes sense.
So this initial phase, it's fundamental for building comfort and trust, which you absolutely need before you can dive into anything more personal or complex. If you skip it, jumping straight into deep stuff can feel, well, jarring or intrusive.
Yeah, I can see that. And the example conversation in the guide, it shows this flow so naturally. It goes, hi, how's it going? I'm good, thanks. How about you?
I'm great. Weather's so nice today, isn't it? Yes, it is. I'm enjoying it.
Simple, smooth.
It really illustrates how these simple bits don't feel forced or robotic. You just slide into them. It's almost like it's baked into our social code, something we do automatically without even thinking about the strategy behind it.
Have you ever just stopped and noticed how often conversations start exactly like that, almost on autopilot, just gently testing the waters?
All the time. And that ease of agreement you see, there's phrases like, I know, right? Or, yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's actually a really powerful mechanism. It reinforces the connection. It's more than just confirming. It's like a little verbal nod of solidarity.
We're on the same page.
Exactly, a microaffirmation. And that builds that foundational comfort, minimizes perceived risk, fosters a sense of, immediate belonging. Although it's worth adding a little nuance there. Well, I know, right, is great for quick solidarity. Using it too much or in the wrong context can actually make you sound a bit less thoughtful, like you're just echoing.
Okay. Good point.
So sometimes a slightly more robust agreement, maybe adding a tiny bit more, shows deeper engagement than just that quick nod.
Right. So the choice of how you agree matters too.
Subtly, yeah. It helps refine the quality of the connection you're building.
Okay, so this next part. This is where the guide really gives us the keys to keep the conversation going. To sustain it, it emphasizes this crucial idea. The key to a good conversation is to ask questions.
Yes. The engine, really.
The engine. I like that. It's not just about making statements or offering your own thoughts. It's about actively inviting the other person to share, to reveal something,
Mhm.
to contribute. And the guide gives really practical, strong examples. What are you doing today? What did you do this weekend? How was your day?
Standard but effective.
And then it expands later with things like, how was your weekend? Perfect for Monday mornings. Or, what are you watching on TV these days? Which is genius, I think, for finding common ground, moving beyond just surface stuff.
Shared interests.
And do you have any plans for the holidays? Always a good one as they approach. What's brilliant about these is they are all, well, inherently open-ended.
That's the key.
They demand more than just a yes or no. They are explicit invitations for storytelling, for elaboration, for sharing. They're designed to pull out more than just like data points. They want a narrative, a glimpse into someone's world.
Right. A yes or no just shuts things down. An open-ended question pushes it forward.
Exactly.
And if you look deeper, this deliberate shift isn't just about inquiry. It's about fostering genuine interest. These aren't just questions. They're crafted invitations for the other person to tell their story, to give context, emotion, perspective. And that highlights a really crucial communication skill, showing genuine curiosity, not just pretending.
Right, actually caring about the answer.
Exactly. And the guide also wisely suggests giving a full answer yourself when asked. Like, yes, I did. I went to a movie with my friends. It's great.
Not just yes.
Right. And that's not just politeness. It's about consciously providing what we might call conversational hooks.
Hooks.
Yeah, little details, little tangents that let the other person easily ask a follow-up question. It stops the conversation hitting a dead end.
Giving them something to grab onto.
Precisely. Think about it in a work context. Instead of just, I finished the report, maybe something like, I finished the report, and actually the data on Q3 growth was surprisingly strong, might indicate a new trend.
Okay, yeah, much more to work with there.
Right. It gives an immediate hook for more discussion, shows competence, and invites collaboration.
The difference is stark, isn't it? Did you have a good weekend? Versus how was your weekend?
Huge difference.
One invites a yes-no, the other opens the door wide, and the guide explicitly says, and this is the real gem, I think, when you ask these questions, the person will tell you about their day or weekend. Listen carefully. Listen carefully.
And you can then ask more questions based on what they say.
Yeah.
That's the power. Listening not just to reply, but listening for those potential follow-ups, for the hooks they might be offering.
Actively listening.
Exactly. So for you, when you're trying to really connect, what kind of open-ended questions do you find work best to get someone to open up a bit more?
Well, it often depends on the context, but generally questions that invite reflection or opinion, not just facts. And this whole section, it really teaches the foundation of active listening, doesn't it?
It does.
Listening not just to formulate your response, but to truly understand, to identify those subtle cues for more engagement. It's about creating a collaborative dialogue, not just a transactional one where you exchange info packets.
Right.
The quality of our questions essentially dictates the depth of the answers we get back. Thoughtful, open questions signal genuine interest, respect for their experience, and that encourages richer answers, which makes the whole interaction better.
Like instead of just, what do you do? Maybe asking something like, what's been the most surprising thing you've learned in your field recently?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It invites insight, not just a job title. It gets beyond the surface. And that's key to really connecting.
Okay, so building right on that idea of asking great questions, the guide then pivots. It talks about the listener's role, which is just as crucial. It gives us these simple but really effective phrases to show you're not just, physically present, but actively listening. And also to gently encourage the other person to keep going, especially if the topic shifts. Things like, oh, really? That's interesting. I see. Or the really powerful one. Tell me more about that.
The encouragers.
Yeah, the encouragers. I think this is the subtle art of validating the speaker. It's a verbal nod, isn't it? It says, without interrupting, I'm with you, I'm engaged, what you're saying matters to me.
Exactly.
Tell me more about that. That's particularly strong because it's such an explicit invitation. Go deeper. I'm interested.
It's permission to elaborate.
Yeah. It avoids that dreaded conversational dead end. It actively pulls the conversation forward. You're not just passively receiving, you're participating in their story, guiding it almost.
And what's really fascinating about these little interjections is how they function as serious tools for rapport building. They signal engagement, sure, but also empathy, an open mind, all critical for trust and connection, whether it's personal or professional.
Right.
From a communication theory angle, these phrases are basically nonverbal cues like nodding or leaning in translated into words.
Ah, okay.
They reinforce that feeling for the speaker that they're being heard, that they're valued.
Yeah.
And that encourages more vulnerability, deeper sharing, because they feel safe,
Yeah.
validated.
Makes them more confident to continue.
Precisely. They feel their contribution is landing well. Think about someone sharing a personal challenge. A simple, "That's interesting," maybe followed by a gentle, "Tell me more about that,"
Yeah.
can create that safe space for them to elaborate. Makes them feel supported, not just, heard in passing.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. And the example in the source shows this perfectly. Someone says, "My family and I are planning a trip to the mountains next month."
Mm-hmm.
And the response isn't just, "Oh, nice." It's, "Oh, really? Where are you going?"
Engaged.
Yeah.
Specific.
Exactly. See how seamless that is. You're showing genuine curiosity. You want the details. You're not just waiting for your turn to jump in with your mountain trip story. You're actively participating in their story first.
Co-creating the conversation.
Yeah. How do you usually show someone you're listening? Do you consciously use these kinds of verbal nudges, or do you have other ways?
I think I use a mix. These phrases, definitely, but also nonverbal cues,
Hmm.
asking clarifying questions. It depends. But these phrases, they really do act as effective conversational prompts. They gently nudge the speaker to say more, but without feeling like they're being grilled.
Right, non-interrogation.
Exactly. It turns passive listening into this active shared exploration of ideas. And that really strengthens the connection. Asking for more info, expressing genuine surprise or interest, it validates their experience, signals their story has value.
Creates a positive feedback loop.
It does, encourages them to share more, which enriches the whole conversation. Imagine a manager in a meeting. Instead of just moving on after an update, asking, "That's interesting, tell me more about the challenges you hit there."
Yeah.
It shows active listening, and it encourages problem-solving, shared learning for the whole team. It works across the board, personal, professional, social.
Okay, so now we're shifting gears a bit. Moving into the part where the conversation really becomes, well, personal, authentic. The guide introduces this vital skill, sharing our own thoughts and feelings, using phrases like, "I think," in my opinion, "I feel like," and "I believe."
Adding your perspective?
Exactly. And just as importantly, it gives us polite, constructive ways to agree or disagree. I agree with you, that's a good point. And the crucial one, I'm not so sure about that.
Mm-hmm. Handling disagreement gracefully.
Which is key. This isn't just about swapping information anymore. It's about building real connection by sharing a piece of yourself, your internal world. Think about a simple example like saying, "I think this coffee is really good."
Simple.
So simple, but it's expressing a personal preference. And that can unexpectedly lead to a deeper chat, right? About tastes, maybe where the coffee's from, travel, local cafes.
Opens up possibility.
It moves beyond just facts and observations into the subjective, the relational, the human element. Allows for a real exchange in perspectives, which is where deeper rapport lives.
And what's really interesting there is the subtle spectrum within those opinion phrases. They each carry a different flavor, don't they?
How do you mean?
Well, I feel like often conveys something more subjective, maybe less concrete,
Yeah.
a personal impression, perhaps open to change.
Okay.
Whereas I believe usually implies a deeper conviction, a more established viewpoint, a stronger stance.
Right, more certainty.
Yeah. And that choice isn't just linguistic, it's psychological. It affects how your statement lands. It underlines how important it is to show some vulnerability, some personality, to move beyond just superficial exchanges and reveal a bit more of who we are.
And that polite disagreement piece, I'm not so sure about that. That feels really important.
Oh, incredibly crucial, especially today. It's a vital mechanism for offering a different perspective without automatically inviting conflict or just shutting the other person down.
Yeah, avoids making it confrontational.
Exactly. In a world where different opinions can quickly lead to polarization, this skill allows for critical thinking, for exploring diverse viewpoints respectfully. It fosters an environment where different ideas can actually be discussed safely, constructively. It shows intellectual engagement and respect.
It shows you can hold a different view without invalidating theirs.
Precisely. It's a sign of conversational maturity, really.
Yeah.
And it strengthens rapport. It doesn't weaken it.
The examples the guide gives are great too, because they're so relatable, low stakes, easy to practice with. In my opinion, the new movie is a bit long, or I feel like this weather is perfect for a walk.
Everyday stuff.
Yeah. Accessible ways to dip your toe into sharing your view without risking offense or starting a huge debate. The guide clearly wants us to be active participants, right? Contributing our unique voice, not just passively responding.
Finding that balance.
Yeah, that balance between listening and expressing, contributing meaningfully. When was the last time you politely disagreed with someone and it actually, strengthened the conversation, maybe led to a deeper understanding?
It happens more often than you'd think when done right. And that ability to articulate your own thoughts and feelings, even gently, it really is a hallmark of conversational maturity. It allows for that exploration of different viewpoints. It enriches the dialogue, deepens mutual understanding, instead of just aiming for everyone to agree all the time.
Which can be kind of boring, actually.
It can.
Yeah.
It shows you're an independent thinker, you can form your own judgments, and you respect the conversation enough to add your authentic perspective. That's huge in professional settings, too. Offering a well-reasoned, different opinion can spark innovation, lead to better decisions. It's about building those intellectual bridges, truly seeing the other person, and embracing the richness that comes from different perspectives.
Yeah.
It moves conversations from just transactional to potentially transformative.
Okay. So this next bit is where it all really comes together. The guide includes this brilliant mini role-play conversation with a colleague, Sarah. And this isn't just another list of phrases, it's a dynamic demonstration. It shows a longer, more natural conversational flow. It seamlessly weaves together the greetings, the open-ended questions, the full answers, expressing opinions, and crucially, how to handle topic shifts gracefully.
Putting it all into practice.
Exactly. It moves organically from weekend plans hiking, specifically then it shifts to movies, and then smoothly transitions again into talking about vacation plans. This roleplay is so insightful because it just lays bare how all these individual skills aren't separate things you just plug in. They weave together. It's a fluid dance.
Yeah, not a rigid formula.
Not at all. It's about being responsive, adapting. One topic naturally, almost inevitably, leads to the next. Sarah starts with hiking, then pivots to asking about your weekend, which leads to movies, and then maybe vacation. It's all connected, just like real life.
Like branches on a tree.
Yeah.
Hmm.
A conversation isn't usually a straight line, is it? It branches out, evolves.
And what really stands out in that Sarah role play is exactly that, the organic, nonlinear way real conversations unfold. It captures it beautifully. It's a powerful testament to the idea that effective communication isn't about sticking to some strict script you memorized. It's about flexibility, responsiveness.
Being present in the moment.
Exactly. Conversations rarely follow a neat, predetermined path. They're living things, evolving with each person's input. And zooming out, this highlights how that conversational agility lets you explore different facets of someone's life more deeply, creates a richer, more engaging interaction.
Right.
The most meaningful conversations often come from being open to where the dialogue might wander, rather than sticking to a rigid agenda. That's super valuable in, say, networking or mentoring.
Yeah, definitely. Let's actually walk through a little bit of this role play just to really appreciate the mechanics of it. So imagine the conversation starts.
Hey there, how was your weekend?
It was great, Sarah. My family and I went hiking in the national park. The views were incredible, and we even saw a deer.
Okay, perfect. Full answer right there.
Exactly. Not just it was good. You immediately offered those hooks. Hiking, national park, incredible views, even a deer. So what does Sarah do?
Right. Sarah has options now. Let's say she picks up on the hiking hook.
Oh, hiking sounds amazing. Which trail did you go on? I've been meaning to get out there more.
Okay, see.
She's not just acknowledging. She asks an open-ended follow-up. Which trail? Shows genuine interest. And she subtly drops her own hook. I've been meaning to get out there more.
Setting herself up for later, maybe.
Could be. It shows engagement and invites more detail from you.
Right. And you might reply.
We did the Eagle Peak Trail. It was quite challenging, but so rewarding. Afterwards, I just wanted to relax, so I spent Sunday reading a new novel and catching up on a few movies.
Okay, boom. More hooks offered.
Yeah. Eagle Peak Trail. Challenging but rewarding, reading a novel, catching up on movies. Sarah's got another fork in the road now.
And this is where that agility comes in. She could go anywhere with that. Let's say she grabs the movie Hook.
Oh, that's nice. What movie did you watch? I'm always looking for recommendations.
Ah, good move.
Yeah. Another open-ended question, but notice how she frames it with a personal need. Always looking for recommendations.
Makes it less like an interrogation.
Exactly. More like a collaborative search for shared interest. So the movies became the new hook. It just shows how even simple statements can spark totally new directions. And
Yeah.
that ability to gracefully navigate these shifts, picking up cues, offering new ones, that's really a sign of conversational mastery. This dynamic back and forth exchange is what keeps conversations alive, stops them from just fizzling out.
About being present, right?
Absolutely. Picking up those subtle cues, being willing to explore new avenues as they top up. Showing genuine interest in the richness of their experience, not just sticking to your own script.
Okay, so this brings us to something really fundamental about learning anything new, especially a skill like conversation, which is, well, pretty intricate.
Mm.
Both parts of the source material, this easy English guide, they really emphasize this message.
Hmm.
Practice is key.
Can avoid it.
And also, don't be afraid to make mistakes. And if you look at the whole way the guide is structured with all those role plays, the example phrases, it's basically built on that philosophy. Deliberate practice.
It walks the talk.
It does. It doesn't just give you phrases to memorize off a list. It gives you scenarios, like little conversational playgrounds, to actually try them out. It's a
Yeah.
very active, hands-on approach to learning. And that's why it works so well, I think.
Yeah.
It highlights that joy of discovery through actually doing it, through trying, maybe stumbling a bit, and trying again.
Like learning to swim. You can read about it all day.
Right. But until you get in the water and start flailing around a bit,
You won't learn.
exactly.
Yeah.
These conversational skills only really become yours when you speak them, maybe mess up, figure it out, and speak them again.
And what's really striking about the guide itself is that it embodies really effective teaching principles. Pedagogy,
How so?
Well, including those role plays moves way beyond just rote memorization. Rote learning is often pretty ineffective for complex skills like this. Instead, it pushes for contextual application, actually using the skill in a simulated situation, which is crucial for acquiring any skill, not just language. If you look at cognitive science, real learning happens through that iterative process, trying, retrieving, applying, even making errors.
Mistakes aren't failures then.
Not at all. In this framework, mistakes are invaluable data points. They give you feedback, show you where to adjust. They're critical for refinement, for growth. Which brings up a bigger question for all of us, really. How can we consciously apply this practice's key idea to other areas?
Non-language learning.
Yeah, developing new professional skills, maybe leadership abilities, even just improving dynamics in personal relationships. That willingness to try, to potentially fail, and crucially to learn from it, that's a universal accelerator for growth everywhere.
Absolutely. And the guide's final words, they're so encouraging, so liberating. Just jump in. The more you speak, the better you'll get.
Simple as that.
It's such a powerful reminder that progress isn't about being perfect right out of the gate.
Yeah.
It comes from the doing, from taking that first step, even if you feel uncertain.
We've all hesitated, right? Held back from engaging, from expressing ourselves.
Oh, yeah. And regretted it later.
Exactly. This advice frees us from that paralyzing fear of imperfection. It actively pushes us towards just participating, consistently, actively.
It's the messiness.
Embrace the messiness of learning and the richness of just interacting. So let's zoom out again. What does all this really mean for you, our listener, beyond just learning English? This whole deep dive, I think, has shown us that these fundamental pieces of good conversation, the genuine greetings, the comfy small talk, the interested questions, the active listening, the authentic self-expression,
All those building blocks.
they aren't just linguistic tools. They are basically social catalysts. They're universally powerful principles for human connection.
Yeah, it really goes beyond language.
It absolutely does. These easy English principles at their heart are the mechanics of human connection itself. They're essential for building strong personal relationships, for sure, but also for excelling at work, for leadership, for sales, networking, enriching social interactions in any cultural context. They encourage us to think more critically, more deeply about how we present ourselves, how we engage with others, how we build shared meaning together. And those nuanced details we talked about, like giving full answers or the art of polite disagreement,
Right.
that's not just about grammar or vocabulary. It's about fostering mutual respect,
Yeah.
cultivating deeper understanding, building those intellectual and emotional bridges between people. They really are the building blocks of genuine human rapport.
Yeah, said.
And maybe the biggest takeaway here is the empowerment that comes from realizing this stuff.
Mm.
Realizing that effective communication isn't some, mysterious art form only a few people have.
Not some innate talent you're born with or without.
Exactly. It's actually a highly learnable set of skills. These simple but really impactful techniques, when you practice them intentionally, with conscious awareness, they genuinely have the power to transform that social anxiety into real conversational confidence.
That's huge.
It is. They don't just give us phrases. They give us a reliable roadmap, a way to navigate that complex, sometimes intimidating landscape of human interaction with more ease, more authenticity, and ultimately more connection.
It's about being seen and seeing others.
That's it, exactly. Being truly seen and truly seeing others. Hashtag tag outro.
So from the simplest "Hi, how are you?" all the way to, gracefully sharing your deeply held beliefs, we've really journeyed through the subtle but pretty profound art of daily conversation today. All thanks to the wisdom packed into that Easy English Daily Conversation Skills Guide. We've seen how just a few key phrases, when you combine them with genuine interest, active listening, and maybe just a little courage to share yourself, can really transform everyday interactions into genuinely meaningful connections.
And as you reflect on this deep dive, maybe consider this. How might consciously applying just one of these techniques, maybe asking a more engaging, open-ended question next time, or using a simple phrase to really show you're listening for those hooks, how might that change the dynamic of your very next interaction, whether that's with a colleague, someone new you meet, or even an old friend? What new insights might you uncover, not just about them, but about yourself, by truly practicing this art? Not just seeing conversation as a task, but as an ongoing journey of, well, profound connection.
Keep exploring, keep connecting, and keep diving deep into the art of human communication.